In this video, we're going to be looking at the parts of a wave. Here on this website, thescienceofwaves.weebly.com, there's a pretty good diagram. This red center line is going to be the center of our wave. As the wave goes up, it peaks, and this is called the crest, or it's also called the peak or the compression. As the wave drops down past the center line, it goes to its lowest point, and this is called the trough. It's also called the valley or the rarefaction. The amplitude of the wave is the distance from the center line to the crest or from the center line to the trough. The bigger the distance, the bigger the amplitude. The wavelength is the length of the wave as measured from one point to the exact same point on the next wave cycle. Here you can see an entire wave cycle, and then a second wave cycle, and then a third wave cycle, and then the fourth one just starts, but we can't see the entire cycle. So, how does this relate to sound? Well, here you go. The crest peak compression, trough valley rarefaction, is related to the amplitude. Amplitude is related to the volume level. The bigger these compressions and rarefactions are, the louder the sound will be. The wavelength is related to the frequency, which is another way of saying pitch. The faster the wave moves, the higher the pitch will be. Let's take a look at this in Pro Tools. Here we have a session, and I have soloed the violin, and here's 1 second of a violin note. If I zoom in, we can see these waves. This is a complex wave because it's an actual acoustic instrument. You can see the peak of the wave going down to the valley. You can see the wavelength as measured from one point to the exact same point on the next cycle, and you can see the center line that Pro Tools has provided for us. If I cut this and raise the volume level, now this section of the note is much louder because the amplitude is larger. If we take a look right above this track at the bass, you'll see that the note is much lower, and that's because the wave is longer. Here, there are many cycles per second. Look at how fast they're going. These are much slower. This is a lower note. If we listen to the bass, so these bass notes are very low, and they have fewer wave cycles per second. So, to recap this, higher frequency equals higher pitch. Lower frequency equals lower pitch. Higher amplitude equals higher volume level. Lower amplitude equals lower volume level.